Hi guys, welcome back to the French Cooking Academy channel. Today it is Q&A session. Yes, it's a bit of an interview and I'm going to try to address 4 broad questions that people have been asking me for a long time so that you can know a little bit more about me, and I think it was long overdue. Let's do this. First question, who are you? I'm sure that's the one question everybody wants to have an answer for. Well, the man behind the channel has a name and my name is Stéphane. It's a common French name. It's actually written Stéphane with an E at the end. In English it sounds a bit like Stephanie, but it's actually pronounced Stéphane. So of course, yes, I'm French. I'm born in France, in Paris actually, near the town of Versailles, where I spent half of my young days. And then I moved down about 50 kilometers still south of Paris, so still a Parisian. People in France will call you a Parisian, near the town of Fontainebleau. However, technically I'm not totally French, and this is the new thing. I'm actually 3/4 French and 1/4 Vietnamese. You would not have guessed that one. Yes, my grandfather was actually Vietnamese, and how I don't look Vietnamese, I don't speak Vietnamese. I've been to Vietnam on a holiday, but I only have the last name that remains from this heritage, and actually my last name is Nguyen, so my full name is Stéphane Nguyen. Second question is, where did you learn cooking? That's a good question. So, yeah, so cooking basically in France, in all honesty, when you're French, cooking is kind of part of your DNA, and I've learned cooking like within the family, it's with the grandparents, with my mom, etc. So it is kind of a given thing that you start to learn cooking at home, like a bit like the Italian people or whatever. But for me, I think my interest in cooking was really there is when I started to move abroad and start to travel actually in other countries. And I've lived in other countries, in Holland or in England and things like that. And once I was abroad, I've kind of looked back at my country and realized how much we are taking things for granted in France, by being surrounded by all this food and the wine, and it's so beautiful, but you think it's normal. And being far away, I kind of missed the cooking, and then I was like, wow, you know what, this is a big heritage, you know, this is what we are in France, you know, we're all about cooking. So I started to be really interested into cooking, and I've used things like that. These are like cooking books, and I've been looking at all kinds of books, especially in patisserie, you know, a chef book, dedicated Michelin star chef book. But the one I found really, really useful are the French culinary school books. And this is how I started this channel. These books are super useful, and I've learned so much over the past 2 years I made a channel that was just amazing. And this is where I'm getting all the inspiration. Now today, I'm still using books, and I'm exploring even online, and my latest find, what I'm using, if you want a little hint there, of course it's all in French, I've got the French National Library, the electronic versions of all the books that exist. So you've got all the cooking history of France and recipes dating back even from the 1800s, so there's zillions and zillions of recipes. So if you want a bit of an example of, you know, what it means, or because it's easy to read books, I've got here that little thing. Okay, I never show books really, I never show titles, but this is called Le Répertoire de la Cuisine. Now this is a Bible, so to speak, of any chef that is working professionally in a kitchen. So this is what a chef uses. You see, they don't use these things. You know, they don't use like these things we see with pictures and recipes and stuff. They use that. You see, this is how it looks like. This is a professional cookbook when you actually work in a kitchen. Every recipe in there is about one line. Okay, so you need to know the basic, you need to know your techniques, and you need to know everything. And that's to give you an example of how French cooking is super complex. And that book, okay, let me give you a little insight. That book contains 7,000 recipes, okay, just in this. And there are hundreds of this type of book in France. So, you know, learning French cooking, it's a never-ending experience, and it's absolutely great. That's why I love it. Next question. Why YouTube, and has it been or is it worth it? Yeah, so you may wonder actually, why did I decide to start up a channel? and after these 2 years, how was the experience and what did I find, etc., etc. So simply, I started the channel, I think 2 years ago. I have no idea that I was going to start anything, but I was learning or trying to learn French cooking, like I showed you, using books and French culinary school books and things like that. And a lot of time I was trying to refer, and I wanted to see these videos on how to do certain things, like maybe like you are doing, watching this channel now. And I could find a lot of French stuff to do some things, but English-wise, it was kind of hard. I could not really find any site or any kind of channel that would have a consistent list of recipes that are truly French and really made, like, not automatically by a French person, but that really follows the actual real recipes and the true guideline. And I was always watching this stuff and I think, there's a gap here. I can't believe there's nothing there for French cooking. And this is where it all started. I just took actually a mobile phone. When I started my channel, I started with an iPhone. That's all what I had for 1 year. So for 1 year, if you look at my old videos, everything you see is very bad quality, sorry. No lighting, nothing, I knew nothing about nothing. And I just had one iPhone in my kitchen. I was going around filming myself, eating something, etc., etc. And this is how I started. I was even editing my movies on the iPhone. That's all I had. So just to let you know, if you want to start a channel, definitely you can. It's not a matter of having all the equipments and bells and whistles. As long as you start shooting, that's the important. But you need to have a subject. So for me, yes, I choose YouTube because I think it's a good medium that really can, I can talk to people, I can demonstrate how to do things and get that kind of step-by-step type of approach. So that's why I've chose YouTube. Now, a lot of people wonder, is it worth it to do YouTube? I mean, being a YouTuber, like having these videos all the time. Personally speaking, it's been 2 years and I have to tell you, it's extremely hard work. If you want to do YouTube, you need to be really dedicated, you need to be motivated, and you really need to like your subject. So for me, I love cooking, so it's not a problem. But my advice, if you're looking at starting a channel, being anything, but especially in cooking, it's going to be important nowadays that you maybe find a niche market. I've got just French cooking. I'm only doing French cooking. Some other people are going to do fusion or other types of things, but I think this is quite important. Now, is it worth it? Like money-wise, let me reassure you guys, there's no money that you're going to be making when you start a channel, unless you are Mr. or Mrs. Charisma, and as soon as you say 2 words, everybody's just like, oh my god, let me watch this again a million times. No, the reality is, when you start a YouTube channel, you do it for yourself. So as an example, this channel here, the French Cooking Academy, I started from scratch with nothing. It's been great. We reached almost 18,000 subscribers and about 100,000 views a month. These are the stats of this channel. And for me, yeah, it's been really worth it because, I really like that time, doing the YouTube stuff, and I can cook and I feel connected with you guys. So for me, it's worth it, but I'm not doing it for the money. So let me warn you, if you want to do that for the money, let me tell you straight off, you won't be making any money. It's not for that. And it's also not a good place for business. Okay, the YouTube platform, it's great to do some content, maybe building a brand or something, perhaps, but you don't do business. And it's not like a money-making machine on YouTube. It's more for, get your idea out there, get heard by people, get some feedback. That's about it. And if you're lucky, you can take it a step further. So, last question, I'm trying to keep this as compact as I can. Future plans, or any future plans, and what's next moving forward. Now, of course, like every person doing YouTube, I want the channel to grow. I just wish we're gonna have more and more subscribers. It is a slow progression because I think I've chosen a subject that's pretty hard. I think French cooking has been kind of forgotten. It's not mainstream anymore, but I am here to put French cooking back on the map, and I'm on a mission, and I'm gonna keep on doing this channel as long as I can. Now, at the moment, something I haven't mentioned before in the "Who are you?" question, I am doing this as a hobby in the weekend. which means that, like you, I've got a day job and I'm actually working in something totally different than cooking. I'm not doing any cooking at all. I'm working in an office as a desktop support engineer. So I'm just fixing stuff. I'm just helping people with computers. It's got nothing to do with cooking. And my day job is taking most of my time. I'm working 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, and the only time I've got left is like, you know, one day for myself on Saturday, and the Sunday I can dedicate to this channel. Now, if I think of the future plans, you know, whenever it's going to be possible, if maybe I've got more time to myself at some point in time, I will definitely consider making more videos more often, and perhaps, you know, at some point having someone to help me to film, to make the whole channel a bit more professional. And who knows, I might change place, change house, you know, and have a new kitchen, a better setup, etc. So these are my plans. But the most important is I really want to keep this going. I had some of you saying that they were a bit concerned by the fact that I was only posting once a week. And I'm telling you, it's hard, you know, when you're working full time. So I prefer posting once a week. I know it's not much, but I'm keeping this channel alive. And I don't want to shut it down because it was one of my thoughts at some point. I thought this is going nowhere. But I'm decided to keep on going at this rhythm until I can start to outputting more videos. So stay tuned, keep subscribing, tell your friends, you're all welcome to the French Cooking Academy. And we're gonna do this together and make it a great channel. But that's it, guys. That's it for the Q&A of the day. From now on, I will be addressing you as my new name. Hi, I'm Stefan, and this is the recipe of the day. That's gonna be really nice. So I hope now you've got a better idea of who I am, what I'm doing. If you have further questions, of course, straight into the comments. Ask your question offline, I will respond. That's what I always do. I always try to look at the comments. Let's stay connected. Let's pass the message. French cooking is alive. Love you all, and I'll see you soon.